Okay, and here's a little bit of a background, first of all, before I ask this question. A little bit of background, okay? 1985. Feed the World, July the 13th, 1985 at Wembley Stadium. People who are old enough to remember that. It was a monumental event, absolutely monumental event. And nothing like that had ever been, the world had never seen an event like that, an international concert, to raise money for the famine in Ethiopia and in Sudan. I mean, there was people starving out there, very, very real. So, Geldof and his people organised this massive international concert to raise many, many millions. Millionaire rock stars like, Phil Collins, McCartney, Bowie, the whole lot of them came along, to perform and raise money raise money to feed the starving people of Africa. Okay, is it ethical for millionaire rock stars to target the ordinary working people for money when they do a big charity concert? Now, what I'm saying is, all of these people on the stage who are raising money, they are all filthy rich millionaires. They have many, many, many millions. And when a disaster happens, they come along and they perform for free. They give their services for free. But the fact is that they're all multi-millionaires. And who are they targeting? Who are they saying, send me your money now. Come on, send me money. As Bob Geldof did. Send me your money now. Send me your money now. People are dying. People are starving. Send me your money now. Who are they targeting? They are targeting you and me. Ordinary working people who have bills to pay, who struggle to pay for their home, their gas bill, the electricity bill, the council tax, and all the other stuff that we have to struggle. And here's these millionaires making us feel guilty and telling us that there's problems in the world and we need to send our money to them. So, what do you think of that? Well, not what I bloody think of it. Here we go. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me see. Who's this? Monkey Harris. I was 2 years old. I wish I was. Yogi Bear. Yeah, okay. Mark's a superstar. Mark's great. Very, very generous. Mark Alec Live Aid. Yeah, a monumental event. But there's the question there. Is it ethical? I mean, if I was a millionaire, and there was people starving in the world, and I felt I needed to do something about it, then I probably would do something about it, because I've got a heart. But what I wouldn't do is target ordinary working people who are already struggling to pay the council tax and the car insurance and the road tax and the TV license and the electricity bill and the gas bill to send their money, because these people, ordinary people, are already struggling, you see. Let's see. Paul Hoskin, give us your money, is what Geldof said. It got on my nerves that day. I mean, the whole world was wrapped, and they were encapsulated, enamoured by this monumental event. Everyone wanted to be involved in it. And ordinary working people were sending money which they couldn't really afford to the starving people in Africa. Now, I know there's a controversy. There is a controversy that came out about maybe 10 years later, and somebody suggested that a lot of the money that was sent to the starving people of Africa, a lot of it didn't actually get to them because it was siphoned off by the warlords who control countries like Ethiopia, and they control any money that gets into that country. Well, and Geldof was very, very quick to come out and say, no, I'm not having that. Can't have that. So what do you think? Queen moved magnificent. Yeah, Freddie Mercury sold the show. Queen, yeah, absolutely, no doubt about that. Who's this? Scaffold is job. Now they're whatever. No, I don't think that's the question. Nick Ross, yeah, and 30 years later they're still starving and fighting. So, that's interesting, Nick Ross, because sometimes you not get the feeling that you're pouring money down a bottomless pit. Why people sent money to Live Aid is that this was a monumental event, and a lot of people really seen the images, the terrible images of the starving people, which is truly dreadful in Africa. It's truly dreadful. But the way I see it, I mean, Geldof and all the other millionaires on the stage, they weren't targeting other millionaires. They were targeting the ordinary man or woman in the street who was already struggling to pay all their household bills and hasn't really got much money. And that's why, yeah, you know, I'm not so keen on the idea. Kippo Macmax, we already give our taxes to foreign aid, so we contribute already. I mean, did you remember Geldof? I mean, you know, he performed, but the Boomtown Rats were a bit of a crap pop band anyway, not very good. U2 were on there, and Bowie and all the others, they were far better, and Queen, of course. But Geldof came on about halfway through the day, you know, send me your money now, send me your money now. Oh, come on, man, give it a bloody rest and all that. And he wanted to be a hero. Well, he did become a hero. He even got a knighthood. He became Sir Bob Geldof. But the fact that, you know, the fact is, I can understand people, ordinary people didn't have much money. They wanted to be a part of this. They'd seen what was going on. It was a wonderful event, and they really wanted to be. But the fact is, a lot of those people were sending money that they couldn't really afford. Whereas, you know, when it's all over, when the dust settles on everything, all those millionaires on the stage, they're still going to be millionaires. They're still not going to struggle to pay the council tax or the mortgage or whatever. You know, now if someone's actually answering the question, Simon I's 41, no, they should hand some of their millions over. They don't, it's bollocks. Well, I mean, what it is, Simon, what it is, Simon, their answer, all these millionaire rock stars, is that they're already giving something. They are giving their time, because when they're on the stage performing for free at Live Aid, they could be doing a concert at home, earning mega amounts of money and putting it in the pocket. So they are giving something. They're giving their time. Okay, they're giving their time. Yeah, that's fine. But they're also promoting themselves. They are promoting themselves. Because you remember that despicable character, Jonathan King. He was a despicable character, Jonathan King. But the fact is, he was put in prison for despicable crimes. The fact is, he was the one who was in the background saying, you know, they're all just out for their own egos, and you know, he was the dissenting voice. But sometimes you need somebody in the background, you know, to speak their mind. He was a despicable character. But I'll give you an example. You know, the movie that was made of Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. This is obviously, you know, a fictionalized, a dramatized, not entirely factual. But there was a scene in that movie where the actor who plays Freddie Mercury is in Switzerland or whatever, and his ex-wife comes along and you know, says to him, you've missed out. You're not going to be allowed to go to the African concert. You're not going to be allowed to go to Live Aid because they've already booked up and all that. And Freddie Mercury, you know, the actor who plays him, says, "What is Live Aid?" She said it's a concert to help these starving people in Africa. It's gonna, you know, it's the big thing right now. And he'd never heard of it. And then, you know, a few moments later, he sacks his manager. You didn't tell me about the African concert. You didn't tell me anything about that. And the point that I'm making about this is that I think a lot of those pop stars, they were desperate to be part of that, but not for the most honourable reasons. They wanted to be part of it because they knew it was going to be big and it was going to boost their careers. Did they really want to be part of it because they've seen these images of Africa and they wanted to fit? I don't know. I mean, you know, they perhaps did, but the primary reason is that it was going to benefit their own careers. So even though they weren't going to earn money from it, they were going to earn in bloody record. Come on, when Queen performed at Live Aid, for weeks later, all of their old albums started banging up in the chart. They come out of nowhere and went back into the chart again. So they did earn money from it. They did. So, let's see. Matthew Cartwright, they just did it for their egos. Nothing changed in Africa and nothing will ever change. Okay? Delboy, yes, because they all play for free and also donate. Being famous brings awareness to the average. Oh, you're entitled to your opinion, Delboy. Yes, because they all play for free and also donated, and being famous brings awareness to the average. Okay, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You know, I'm not saying that the concept was wrong, but what I am saying is that, you know, people who question whether all the money that was sent from the ordinary people actually went to who it was intended for. You're talking about bloody Ethiopia, you know, a war-torn country run by warlords here. Any money that gets in that country, there's people who are going to siphon, you know, some of it off. You know, you've got to be aware of that. But I understand, you know, what you're saying. Ty Z, it is ethical. Doesn't matter if it's ordinary working class people or rich people. They're still donating their time. Yeah. The point that I'm making is it ever ethical for a millionaire to point the finger at an ordinary working class person and make that person feel guilty for not handing over their money? If I was a millionaire, under any circumstances, I would not hassle ordinary people for money. I just wouldn't do it. Let's see. Pinball, their record sales go up after performing on the bill, okay? Let's just see first of all who we're talking about here. Let's get some other people up there. Let me see, okay. Let me see now. Let me see now. So who else was there? Yeah, Bowie was there. Now this is the thing. Bowie died leaving hundreds of millions in the bank, and his family got the hundreds of millions. Okay, that's good. That's, you know, Bowie was a legend. Now the highest regard to David Bowie. You know, he was a legend, but did he leave any, all of those hundreds of millions that he left behind, did he leave any of that money to the starving people? Because there's still starving people in the world. Did he leave any money in his will to those people? You know, well, I'm asking you, did he? He could have left money in hundreds of millions in his will to the people who are still starving in this world. Let's see. And there you go, there's Freddie. I mean, Freddie Mercury. He died leaving, I mean, he stole the show. He died leaving millions. Did that, when he died, did any of his millions go to the starving people in the world? Did it? I'm asking you. And and then we have another person, and he hasn't died yet. He's still alive. I mean, is he gonna is he gonna not pay tax so that he can leave all his money to the starving people in the world? Is that gonna happen? Okay, let me see. Let me just have a little teensy-weensy look. Pinball, you have the record sales go up at the performance of the bill. Michael Powell, can't stand Geldof. Queen was ace though. Yeah, Queen were brilliant. Queen were absolutely brilliant. The Boomtown Rats were there. Sorry, but they were crap. I mean, the Boomtown Rats had a couple of hit records in the late 70s, and then it went to Geldof's head, and everyone was predicting they were going to become the big mega rock star band of the 1980s. Nobody went. U2, the Police, Dire Straits. I mean, the thing is, I mean, the Boomtown Rats were quickly forgotten about. And I think the argument is that Jonathan King's argument was that Geldof's career was going nowhere, and he needed to do something like this in order to still stay famous. Michael Janae, if they use foreign aid properly, our taxes should be enough. It's all a scam, okay? David Coleman, wasted time giving money. They just keep making kids. Sorry, not a dime from me, okay? Yeah, and I think the money probably would have been better done on contraception. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Michael Janaeus, people criticise Bill Gates, but at least he gives away his own money. That's a good point. Bill Gates can afford it. I mean, there's enough money in the world to feed all the starving people. There's well enough money in the world. The fact is, it's mostly held in the hands of a tiny percentage of people. And the question that I'm asking here is I don't think it's right. Like Geldof did, and he did do it. He made the ordinary person, the ordinary man in the street, feel guilty. He actually said in his rant on the day of Live Aid, don't go to the pub, don't go to the pub, stay in tonight, save your money and send it to us instead. Okay? That's what Geldof said. He actually said that. Excuse me, but the ordinary man in the street should go down to the pub at the end of the week because he's worked hard. He doesn't have much money, and going down to the pub is his little pleasure in life. Geldof's telling him, don't go to the pub, give me your money instead. Jesus Christ. Pele, yeah, as long as all that money goes directly to those in need, don't kid yourself, mate. Doesn't. Simon Eyes 41, Ricky Gervais' recent Netflix shows touched on this, and he was bang on point about stars sending their prayers, but no money. Hypocrites, okay? Good for you, mate. Mark Oleg, the concert raised 127 million US dollars, which would equal 350 million today. That's the same. Well, no, it's not. I'm going to say it's the same figure on the bus, on the side of the bus, but that's dollars, not pounds. But $350 million that would feed a lot of starving mouths. And they showed images, didn't they, of how it fed them. A year later, how many tractors how many tractors they bought, how many people, and there was some real corny stuff. I mean, years later, they did many years. I'm not sure which year it was. They did a reunion of that live, and even Pink Floyd and people like that came together to perform at Live Aid again. And Bob Geldof, there was a really, really, really corny, bloody moment in that Live Aid reunion, which was about 10, 15 years or something like that. Somebody on the stage, I can't remember who it was, he actually said, and the words that he said was, Bob's got something to show you. That was his word. Bob's got something to show you. And what it was that starving little child in the video played by Drive, by the Cars. The starving little child is now a grown girl, a grown young woman. And they brought her out on the stage, and I think she danced with Madonna. And in some ways it was heartbreaking, because this is a child that was almost, doomed to death. And it was wonderful to see it, become like, an adult, a young woman. But what nauseated me was the words, Bob's got something to show you. Like as if she's some kind of bloody piece of meat or something. But, a trophy. This is a trophy, this is what I did. It was so sickening and so corny. So bloody corny. Just my opinion. Gemini Star, Geldof was a failed musician, being turned out, yeah. Not even a very nice person, really. Let's see, David Heisenberg, lookalike. The celeb should say I or we are given an amount for their multi-millions. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. Nico Dance now. People are sending you too money. I mean, people are sending you money too, Eddie. Is it ethical? Talk about double standards. Yeah, but I'm not saying that like that. Any super chats are going to be spent in in countries where they're not going to really spend. Like anyone who sends me money goes on my travel. That's it. I make no secret. It's going to go on my travel. It's going to go towards me traveling and making videos. For YouTube, that's what it's going to go on. I make no secret about that. So double standards, my ass. David Cohn, rock stars sticking their noses into things. I'm not against. I'm not against celebrities canvassing for charity. I'm not against that. The bit that I don't like, the very principle of millionaires who've got all the money in the world, who want for nothing, who target ordinary people who are already struggling to pay their bills. They target them for money. I think that's wrong. I think that's very, very wrong. Mark Oliver, do Eddie's donations go through a warlord? Some of them go. I must admit, some of them go on massage girls. Some of them go to the massage girls. I make no secret about that. Cheers for that. Really generous of you, mate. David Coleman. Does anyone on here right now want to live in Africa? Come on, guys. It's no comment. Yeah, Bazooki. Phil Collins doing Wembley, the Flying on Concorde in New York. With Jesus Christ. Nick Ross, what have you got to say? Today, they do the same, but through foundations, which are tax deductible. I was in Yemen and Somalia. They were starving then, and they're starving now, okay? Tiggs, 1463, we should do it all again and send over 10 billion for monkeypox. Tampa guy, unfortunately in the West, we have this white saviour syndrome. Africa, fortunately, and some of the most corrupt countries in the world. Yeah, they're also pretty good at email scams as well. Let's see, Paul Oskin, feed the whale, let them know it's Christmas time, okay? Who's this? Kiki on the trail, Geldof and Bono are hypocrites. Bono was it? Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's your opinion, mate, you're entitled to it. David Mayer, no one made them send them. I know, because the people, even ordinary people who are strapped with cash, they want to feel like they're a part of it. And it was a monumental event, absolutely monumental event. And it wasn't the only event. They'd had events like that before, Concert of Bangladesh and all this kind of stuff. What have we got here? You had concerts like that before. And this was another one. I think this was taken at the Freddie Mercury AIDS tribute. Now, the thing about this, in the mid-80s, I mean, Live Aid, kicked off a lot of things. There was all kinds of things. I mean, there was the Bradford fire disaster, where people, celebrities come on, done a song, come on, give us your money, and then there was the Manchester air disaster in the Manchester airport, and it just seemed everyone was doing it. Everyone was coming out with a bloody song. Come on, give us your money. It just becomes such a trend, didn't it? And some of these bloody stars that he dug up. Some of these people that he dug up. Oh yeah, and for the AIDS one, oh yeah, he'd have to get in the act. Well, I mean, some of these people just have to get in the act, don't they? Yeah, they just have to get in the act. Jesus Christ. I think that was for the Freddie Mercury, concert, wasn't it? That's a question, Bottle Baby. That's an interesting question. For those who remember Live Aid, on any of these concerts like the Freddie Mercury Memorial Fund and all this kind of stuff, Bottle Baby says, did you donate anything? Anyone here? That's a question I meant to ask. Did anyone donate to Live Aid and then regretted it later? Because I think I would have done, but after what's come out since, I think I would have done. I didn't have any money at the time anyway, so I couldn't have donated. Michael Powell, never give my money to any of these causes, only give my money to Remembrance Poppy. David Heisenberg, lookalike, Russell, okay. Put TV on every day where there are plenty of things on there saying £3 or £5 UK for this and that and the other. I can't afford to do that, as will be good, so some of them I can't afford. And I know what you mean. I mean, you bombard with chat. There was a sad case a few years ago with a very, very elderly lady donated to a charity. And what she didn't realise that these charities, there's like a bloody big room where everyone's on mobile phones, and they want to try, sorry, where everyone's on phones, and they canvass the charities, and they all want to reach targets like double glazing salesmen. And because she contributes to one charity, she was bombarded with more requests for more charities, and she was hassled left, right, and centre. And it was said that their cause of death was that she was just bloody harassed by all of these charities. They're pretty ruthless. They are. Let me see. Let me see though. Kippo Macmax. George Michael donated millions in charities but refused any. But well, good for him. Good for him. He's dead now. Okay. Michael says George Michael left money to charity, but also helped a lot of poor people without bragging about it and no one knowing when he was alive. Two great guys. Okay, good for him then. Good for him. Good for him. Yogi Bear. Freddie gave all his money to AIDS. Yeah, okay, fine, thank you. Mark Ollie is the 1980s they wore mullets. Can't remember what a mullet was, but they did wear some funny clothes. Iron Sills, if you can't afford a bowl of rice, then the average man on the street is a millionaire. Ed, get your point. Ed, millionaire, Ed, get your point. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, see what you mean. Okay, you're entitled to your opinion. So, like you say, the point that I'm making, I'm not, insensitive. I know that, the pictures that Geldof's seen of Africa and everything, the pictures that he's seen, moved him, and I think he was fairly general that he wanted to do something. But I also think, he wanted to do something for his own career, and I think a lot of these people, they think for themselves, their own career first and foremost. And I'm not saying that it was wrong to do, but I must admit, if I had have donated to Live Aid, I think, seeing what's become of the people and all this, I think I would have regretted it. I would love to send money to save people's lives, but is the money really going to the people who you think it's going to? Is all that money? You're quite sure about that? Michael Powell, Mitch Yore was involved as well. What happened to Ultravox? They were bloody good at the time. This means nothing to me. Oh, Vienna. Okay, there we go. Mark Allen, plus you support local businesses. Yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely. David Mayer, is there enough food in the world to feed everyone with all the droughts? Maybe not. I think there is somehow. Here we go. Now this links into the previous story. Kippo Macmax. Remember Geldof on the boat mocking Farage about Brexit? He's not even British. Okay. Mark Howard, the amount of food thrown out each day is terrible. Yeah. At least some restaurants will send it to a local charity house to give it to those in. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's kind of like the way forward. That's kind of like the way forward. I mean, give the hungry people food, but it's if you give them money, then that's another story. What are they going to spend it on? But yeah, that's kind of the way. Who's this? This is not better than like this. Nico Dance now. This is not better than like the hate coming out of Eddie tonight is shocking. Positively, oh my God! Oh, really? Oh, good. I'm glad you're enjoying the show, whoever you are.